The ideas expressed in the following presentations are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of ACI or its committees. ACI web sessions are recorded at ACI conventions or other concrete industry events and will be made available for viewing free of charge for 1 week. Thereafter, they will be archived on the ACI website or added to ACI's online CEU program, depending on their content. You can earn continuing education credits through ACI's online CEU program. Visit www.concrete.org to register. ACI conventions provide an opportunity for networking and for keeping up to date with the latest in concrete technology and practices.
Our next presenter is Fred Goodwin, and Fred is going to be presenting on RAP Bulletin number 11, which is on slabjacking.
Hello, thanks for having me. Sorry to be a short speaker, but slabjacking. ACI defines it as raising concrete pavement slabs or filling voids under them by injecting a material under pressure. So basically that's what it does. It lifts the concrete and provides support underneath it. You take something like that and make it smooth again. Magic, right? 3 simple steps. You take the concrete that's settled, you drill holes in it. You pump a grout through the holes, lift it by hydraulic pressure, and then fix the holes. A little more to it than that. You have to drill the holes. What kind of drills do you use? The most basic drill is called a star drill. I think the Egyptians invented it. It looks like a cold chisel with kind of a cross point on the end of it. You can pick them up for about $5 or $6. It's slow, it's tedious. You put it against the concrete, smack it with a hammer, rotate 90 degrees, smack it with a hammer, blow the dust away once in a while. You will get a hole. You can also use hammer drills. Core drills work very well. Heavy-duty stuff like rock drills, or even air track drills. If I'm doing an airport, you don't want to think about star drills. You also have to have a pump. I've got the hole made, now I've drilled it. What kind of pump? Most simple kind of pump is a piston pump. This is a manual piston pump that's sold for this purpose. If you can get enough pressure, you might be able to use a diaphragm pump, but I don't hear of them being used very often. Most of the time, a progressive cavity pump, Moino pump, rotor stator pump works pretty well. But to really do serious lifting, you probably do need a mechanically powered piston pump, swing tube pump. They even come mounted on trucks. How do I hook the pump and the hose up to the concrete? I need something called a packer. Again, we can go really, really low tech. It's called a pipe nipple and a wooden wedge. Works pretty darn well. Wrap it with a rag, you'll have a little bit of a leak, but aside from that, it'll work. There's also drive packers. You can see the drive packer has kind of a tapered point on the end. The way that works, you stick it in the hole, you smack it with a hammer, and it wedges itself in place. There's mechanical packers. These, you twist a nut or twist the handle, and it compresses the flexible material, wedging it in the hole, and then you can back that off when you're done and remove it. There's resin injection packers. You don't have to use cementitious materials for this. Some people are using polyurethane foams quite successfully. And then inflating packers. This is for very heavy-duty work. Basically, it's a strengthened balloon on the outside of the pipe, and you inflate the balloon. Those balloons can be made from things like Kevlar. that'll take several thousand pounds of pressure. You also need hose. A hose comes in different kinds of pressure ratings. If you use a hose that's too low a pressure, guess what? You make a heck of a mess, the hose breaks, it goes flying where you don't want it, probably through you. So there's 200, 500, 800 psi hose. If the hose is too strong, not a problem. Very important, have factory formed ends. You are developing pressure. The factory puts the ends on the hose. Don't try to do it with a hose barb and a hose clamp. You'll probably hurt yourself. So I drill the holes. Where do I drill the holes? Anywhere I feel like it? Not really. I drill a hole in the center if I want to lift the whole slab. I drill them against an edge about a foot in if I want to lift that edge. But if I get them too close to the edge, what happens? The grout goes out the side. Nothing good happens except I make a mess. If the outside edge is settled, I can do faulted joints. But if I don't have enough holes and I put too much pressure, I crack the slab. That also makes a mess and creates worse problems than I had when I started. Here's a typical cracking pattern, settlement and so forth. Bear in mind, when's the best time to do slabjacking? When it's cold out. Otherwise, that slab expands, the cracks are very tight, I have a lot of force, I have to use a lot more pressure to lift things. Use it while the gaps are wider, life gets easier. Where do I start pumping? Here's another drawing of a slab that's settled. I started in the center and worked my way out, lifting a little bit at a time. So here I'm lifting from 2 holes. And then once I'm done, I have the holes left. I have to fix them. A few words about pump pressure. I drill the hole. I install the packer. I try to pump that slab. It's really hard because I'm doing all the lifting right from the bottom of that hole. You can save yourself a lot of problems by using the law of hydraulics. How do I do that? Take an air lance or a water jet and excavate out underneath the slab a bit. Make a bigger hole. Grout's cheap. Then I pump from that. I have a heck of a bigger lifting area. It's just like the hydraulic lift that lifts your car. A little bitty hydraulic pump pushing against a great big area can lift a heck of a lot of weight. But if I try to do it from a little bitty hole, I have a lot more pressure to get the same amount of force. Another little trick, don't try to pump everything at once. Wire off your hoses, have valves to control the flow so that I can lift a little bit over here, a little bit over there, a little bit over there, and keep balancing it out and running it around. If I try to lift from one place, I lift so far, then I have to disconnect, shut down, move the hose. You're ahead to do that with valves and T's in the piping. So what can you do? Sunken concrete turns into raised concrete. Sloped concrete gets level. The void under the slabs, hollow slabs. I fill it up. That's about all there is to it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.